Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Imagine you're trying to point out something you see, maybe a pet.
Yeah.
Sometimes you say, look, a dog, if it's just, any dog. But if it's like your dog, you might say, look, the dog.
Right, the specific one.
Exactly. And sometimes if there are loads, you just say, look, dogs.
Okay.
So what's going on with these little words? A, in, and sometimes nothing.
It's fascinating, really. These tiny words, we call them articles, they're actually doing a lot of work. They basically tell us whether we're talking about one thing generally or one specific thing, or maybe things, in general. Little pointers.
Little pointers, I like that.
Yeah.
So today, right here on the deep dive, we're going to get into these little helpers. O, N, and the did. They seem small, but wow, getting them right really makes your English clearer.
Yeah, it really does.
Think of this as like a quick guide. Our mission is to figure out when to use each one.
Exactly. We'll look at the sort of rules, but keep it simple, use lots of examples so you can really get a feel for how they work naturally.
Okay, let's start then. A and an. These are called indefinite articles.
That's the term, yeah. Indefinite, because they don't point to a definite specific thing.
Right. So we use them when we mention something for the first time, or it's just any old one.
Perfect way to put it. Any old one, like picking a cookie from a whole plate. Doesn't matter which one, just one cookie.
So if I say, I saw a bird, it's just some bird, not a special one.
Exactly. Or I ate an orange, just one orange, not, the orange we were talking about earlier.
Okay. Now, there's this rule about when to use a versus an, right? Something about sounds.
Yes, and this is super important. It's all about the sound the next word starts with.
Not the letter.
Not necessarily the letter, no.
Yeah.
So you use a before a word that starts with a consonant sound, like buck-ka-da.
So a ball.
Right, a dog.
A house. Makes sense to hear those sounds.
And then you use an before words that start with a vowel sound, like a E-I-O-U sounds.
So an apple.
Yep, an elephant.
An ice cream. Because you hear that I sound first.
Precisely. The sound is key.
You mentioned it's not always the letter. Are there tricky ones?
Oh, definitely. Think about the word uniform. It starts with the letter U, which is a vowel.
But it sounds like uniform, like a Y sound at the start.
Exactly. And Y is a consonant sound. So we say a uniform.
Gotcha. That is kind of tricky. Any others like that?
Well, the classic one is hour. Starts with A.
The CH is silent. You hear hour.
Right. Starts with a vowel sound, so it's...
An hour.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense now. It's really about listening.
It really is.
Yeah.
Just trust your ear on that first sound.
So both a and an basically mean one, right?
Yeah.
Just one single thing.
Yep. I have a cat. Means I have one cat I'm mentioning now.
Got it. And what if there's more than one, but still not specific? Like not the apples, but just apple.
Good question. That's where some often comes in. It's kind of like the plural of a, or when you mean an unspecified amount, more than one.
So an apple becomes some apples.
Exactly. I need a stamp versus I need some stamps.
Okay, cool. So that covers a and an for one general thing based on sound.
Yeah.
Now, the definite article.
Right. Definite. This one points. It says, not just anyone, this one.
So we use the when it's specific. Like we know which one.
Either because we've already mentioned it.
Like your example, I saw a cat. The cat was sleeping.
Yeah.
We know it's the cat from the first sentence.
Exactly. Or maybe the situation makes it clear which one. Like, can you pass the salt? There's usually only one salt shaker right there.
Or if you describe it to make it specific.
Yeah. Like the boy sitting next to me raised his hand. The description singles him out.
Okay. And what about things that are just unique? Like there's only one.
Absolutely. Like the sun, the moon, the Eiffel Tower, the theory of relativity. There's only one of those we generally mean.
So the is for specific, known, or unique things. Got it.
It narrows it down for the listener.
Now, you mentioned things like apples. We can count one apple, two apples. Count nouns. But what about water? Or rice? You don't really say two waters or three rices, do you?
Generally, no. Those are what we call non-count nouns. Think of them as stuff, a mass, not individual items you can easily count.
Like advice.
For furniture.
Perfect examples. Water, coffee, advice, furniture, information. Lots of abstract things too. They're treated as singular.
So with these non-count things, these stuff nouns, You wouldn't use a or an because they mean one.
Exactly right. You can't have one advice or a furniture. It just doesn't work grammatically.
So what do you use? Can you use the?
You can use the if you're talking about a specific bit of that stuff, like the water in this glass is cold, or the advice you gave me was helpful.
So the still works for specifics, even with non-count nouns.
Yep. And if you're talking about that non-count stuff in general,
Then, no article, like I need advice, or water is essential.
perfect. That's the zero article. Used for non-count nouns when speaking generally. Greta needs furniture. I don't like coffee. General statements. Okay, wait. Zero article. No article at all. You also use that for plural count nouns when talking generally, right?
Yes, you got it. Like your first example, dogs make great pets. Not a dog, not the dogs, just dogs in general.
Trees are beautiful.
I'm afraid of guns. All talking generally about the plural group.
So let's see if I can summarize this zero article thing. No article for plural count nouns in general. And no article for non-count nouns in general.
Exactly. General plurals, general non-counts.
Okay, let's try some comparisons. I do not want a gun. That means
Any gun. Just one gun. Doesn't matter which. You don't want it.
versus the gun is in his closet.
That's a specific gun. We probably know which one.
And I'm afraid of guns.
Guns in general. All of them or the idea of them. Zero article.
Okay. How about she sent me a postcard?
One postcard, not specified which one yet.
It's the postcard in my office.
That specific one. The one located in your office.
Getting postcards makes me want to travel.
Postcards in general. Any postcard you receive, zero article again.
Wow. Okay. It seems simple, but it's actually quite nuanced.
It is, but once you get the hang of the core ideas, general versus specific, count versus non-count, it starts to feel more natural.
So quick recap. A or N for one general thing you can count and watch that sound. The for specific things, so things we already know about or unique things, can be singular, plural, or non-count.
Yep.
And zero article, meaning no article.
Yeah.
For things in general, either plural, countable things, or non-count stuff.
You've nailed it. And using them correctly really does smooth out communication. It tells your listener exactly how to picture the noun you're talking about.
It avoids confusion, like pass me a book. Sounds weird. Pass me a book or pass me the book makes instant sense.
Precisely.
Okay, so here's a little something for you, the listener, to try. Just look around you right now. Pick maybe 3 things. Can you make a little sentence about each one? Maybe one using a or an, one using the, and maybe one talking about things generally with no article, like I see a lamp, the ceiling is white, windows lead and light.
Ooh, I like that. Pay attention to why you chose that article or no article. What does that tiny word or the lack of it tell you about how you're seeing or thinking about that object right in that moment?
Yeah, it's like a little window into how language shapes our focus, isn't it?
It really is. Small words, big job.